43 degrees, and guess what I have on the day after Thanksgiving? I still have 2 tomatoes from the garden. Let's go outside, T-Rex. It looks pretty. Yeah, pretty chilly though, T-Rex, huh? You want to jump up against that slider? You almost did, like he does in Weymouth. T-Rex is off to search the neighborhood. I gave him a little bit of a longer line today. He seems to be tangled already. Blue sky here in Cape Cod. Let's check the ice bucket. No ice bucket. It's a rain bucket until further notice. Maybe about 3 or 4 days. So how much rain we had? About 2 3/4 in the bucket yesterday. Now it's at about 3 1/4. So about a ½ inch of rain here in the middle of the Cape. How much rain did you get at your house? Or snow? Let's start with the rain. It looks like around Kingston, Rhode Island, southern Rhode Island, 1.8 inches near southern Rhode Island. And so the HRRR did a pretty good job saying that would happen, heavier rain near the south coast. And it said probably not as much near Boston, but Boston did pretty good. It was close to 3/4 of an inch of rain. So HRRR underestimated the rainfall near the Boston area. And then once you got up in elevation from the Berkshires, Z-Man in Dalton, Massachusetts this morning, says several inches of snow in the Berkshires. And then if you move north and go up in elevation, now you're talking over a foot of snow. We were talking about Mount Snow and Sunapee and Sunday River. They all came in with about 9, 10 inches of snow. But then Killington came out of the pack this morning and reported 21 inches. For real? I don't know if I totally buy that, but you get the point. And today is day 1 of the Women's World Cup. Michaela Schifrin going for her 100th podium. Is that for this weekend? And it was still snowing a little bit at Killington. See, there's some lake effect snows this morning. Our storm has gone by. And we'll check more of those snow totals and cams in a minute. The storm, there it is on satellite. You can see it to the northeast now of Maine. It's about a 987 low, and it's moving away. And a close look at the satellite imagery, you can kind of make out the snow on the ground there between the clouds, right over Lake Winnipesaukee and north of Sebago Lake. And snowfall amounts, where do we want to go? All right, so we talked about Killington. Picture's worth 1,000 words. I watched the Okemo cam. Now, you can't, the Okemo cam has a ruler, so that's real data. And it got buried around 15 inches at Okemo. And who else has, Sunapee also has a cam with a ruler, and it looked like about 9 inches at Sunapee. So that forecast worked out well. And there are a lot of people without electricity this morning. Ray and Nevada Alba this morning getting going a little late. They're without electricity near Pico, headed over to Killington. And it's a real pasty snow. Thank you, Ray, and have fun at the World Cup this weekend. Nevada, Alicia, and the Alba family. And Mount Washington, I think, is indicative of how pasty this snow is. Even at the top of Mount Washington, where it was only in the teens, the snowfall added up to about 8 inches. I don't think this is the official data, but that's what's on the post this morning, and 1.29 inches of H2O. And so that's a lot of water. That's a 6-to-1 ratio. It's pasty, and there are more than 70,000 customers without electricity in the state of Maine this morning because of that pasty snow bringing down branches, bringing down power lines, bringing down the power. And how cold is it this morning in Maine? There's the temperature map with the wind. Not so windy yet in New England. This morning it was only about 32. No doubt there was a lot of black ice around where it was kind of a wet and white storm this morning. And snowfall amounts, I can show you a couple of snowfall amounts from Coco-Raz. Coco-Raz, that's non-ski area reporting. And 12 inches in Warren, Vermont. Also 12 inches south, I'm not sure where, somewhere near Rutland, but I'm sure it's a higher elevation. And up around Jay, reporting about 6 inches of snow at Jay. And it's the day for the devoted at Jay Peaks. Lifts are running now, so the season officially kicks off today. While further south, my mountain, Mount Mansfield, we're waiting until Tuesday. And there's Mount Mansfield. It was still snowing at Mount Mansfield this morning because of the lake effect snows. And lake effect snows are going to be the biggest ticket item happening probably in the nation. It's going to make news. Tom Niziol showed this photo of one of the highways out there. This might be 90. Apparently I-90 has been closed to commercial traffic in the Buffalo area. And that's off of Lake Erie. And Lake Ontario is doing the same thing, and is Lake Michigan and Lake Superior and Lake Huron. Here's the radar imagery, and you can see the back edge of our system in the upper right pulling out, and all those lake effect snow bands. You have water temperatures in the 50s, and the temperature up around 5,000 feet is more like 20. That's a 30-degree gradient, and so those lakes just kind of steam up and lake effect snows, and they're going to keep coming and coming. And some of them are going to actually make it into parts of New England. Let's go to the HRRR snowfall forecast. And there you see the lines of snow coming off of the Great Lakes with the wind mostly from the west and southwest today, and then coming in from the west and more northwest tomorrow night. And this only goes out to about Sunday morning. You see a little stripe there coming across Mount Mansfield, so a little bit of snow in the mountains of Vermont. But if you close it in on a place like Jamestown, New York, I put the cursor over Jamestown, New York, 52 inches of snow forecast, and that's just by Sunday. And it's going to keep coming Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's going to be a week of this snow. So we're going to be making history, and I think the Buffalo Bills have a home game this weekend. You don't know exactly where the bands are going to set up, but if it sets up over the stadium, they're going to have hundreds of people in there shoveling the stadium, make way for the Bills game this weekend. A lot of football going on. And what about the weather? I think the Boston 15-day is indicative of what's going to happen. Look at the temperature. Today we're going above 40 and then not going above 40 for the most part right through next week, with lows in the 20s and even the teens by next weekend. And look at that. The Euro has put a little precipitation in on our Thursday. It's always a Thursday, isn't it? This will be the fifth one in a row where action is on a Thursday. Four Thursdays ago, it missed off to the south, which was a major snafu in the forecast way back then. I still remember blowing that forecast from 4 weeks ago. But the last 3 Thursdays now have had precipitation. It looks like it could happen again going forward. T-Rex, so patient. He can't wait to go over and say hello to Kevin. Are we having leftovers this morning? Of course we're having leftovers. And tomorrow morning and the next morning? Here's the Euro. Let's just get right to this. The day by day, and we're going to have to stop it again on a Thursday. Our flow is coming right out of south central Canada, where the air is coming right out of northwest Canada, where the air is coming from the North Pole. So we're getting deliveries of air from the North Pole, and you can see the lake effect snows lighting up. Big upper level low spinning around, and the upper level low gradually eases out. And you might get a little bit of a warming trend with a low pressure coming at us on Wednesday night. Stop it again. Now Thursday, it's always a Thursday, 1 a.m. And you have a 990 low on an Arctic boundary just north of New England. And you see some snow and even rain with a southerly wind on Cape Cod. And so this system is going to try and re-intensify when it goes into the Gulf of Maine. And where's the high pressure system? Look way up to the left. The high pressure system, 1041 high in Western Canada, and that's pure, heavy, Arctic cold air, and it's high barometer cold out there. That means the coldest air is near the ground. But until then, we have what's called low barometer cold, where it's much colder up in the sky. With these lows going by, put it back in motion, and now you have Arctic air coming right into New England. It's still low barometer on Thursday into Friday, and now Saturday into Sunday, and we'll stop it way out there. I think this is Monday, December 8th, 240 hours. That's as far as I'm going to go with the guidance. 10 days. It's odds of it being right in 10 days pretty low. And there's a low pressure system over Texas. That should be interesting. And here in the Northeast, we're getting closer to the high barometer, 1033 high. And now we're going to have an inversion and record cold air possible next Sunday into Monday, if this all verifies. And there's another low in Canada that's going to go north of us. That would be a brief warm-up, and then perhaps another discharge of colder air and that system coming out of Texas. And now we're talking way out about December 11th or 12th. And that's our next chance for a big storm if this Thursday thing comes through as forecast. Is just sort of more of a front. But Thursday is going to be interesting with potential squalls and such. Until then, especially here on Cape Cod with the wind from the west, we're going to have mostly blue sky. And there's ocean effect clouds that if we get the wind coming in from the southwest or the north, those ocean effect clouds will come in. Ocean effect right there, you can see them. That's the, like a lake effect, but it's cold air over the Nantucket Sound right there. And then Cape Cod Bay would be that way. We can't really see Cape Cod Bay. I hope you enjoyed your Thanksgiving. That's the end of the weather forecast for now. We're going to be here one more day. And yesterday with the family, out in the yard yesterday, prepping the meals. And I wasn't prepping the meal, but I went out in the yard between prepping meals and peeling onions. That's the worst, isn't it? And it was raining, and it was windy, and there were branches down, but those branches are down from earlier storms. So now we've got soaking wet ground, and turkey came out great, and playing with the dogs. Albacore will fetch this ball 1,000 times and want to do it 1,000 more. Thank you, Ed and Diane, for hosting. I hope everyone had a good Thanksgiving. Great. So happy you came down, Ginny. Missed you, Bob. And love all these pictures that have been coming in. I got more snow pictures than I could even handle this morning, so I didn't show hardly any of them compared to how many I liked on X. And much appreciated. How about one more snow photo? Weather Remarks, a spotter in Twin Mountain, New Hampshire, just on the other side of Mount Washington from the ocean. So that down the hill, he's still got a half a foot of snow, and you can see how heavy that snow was on the branches. That's why so many are without electricity this morning in northern New England. All right, here's the in more from yesterday. T-Rex, we're going to go for a walk now. It's cool. Rex doesn't even want to go out. It's 11 o'clock, and the parade's on TV. It's Thanksgiving. And I talked about the ice bucket. I'm not going to have ice on Cape Cod for a few days, but let's turn it into a rain bucket for now. So start with how much rain we've had since 10 days ago. So this was at about 2 3/4. So we'll see what we get it up to throughout the rest of the day. It is pretty windy here from the south. Temperature holding pretty close to the water temperature, and leaves are just kind of flying around. Raking season continues. But I think it's just about the end of the leaves, right? Where are they coming from? Oh yeah, that one right there. And the branches too. The branches are coming down. A lot of wind lately. All right, how's the turkey doing? It's leftover time. Leftover sticks and leaves and perfect indoor weather for our Thanksgiving. That's nothing. Doesn't it just figure? The only 2 days it rains all season. The day of the parade in Plymouth, and now Thanksgiving day. Yeah, love the pumpkins. Traffic is terrific though. 3 p.m. We haven't feasted just yet here in the border between South Dennis and West Dennis. It's cold, but it stopped raining. And what is this tree that has so many leaves left on it?
Like, usually whenever, like, for a long time, even when he was like sitting on my bed, as soon as I'm like right after dinner, he'd be like, again, oh, come on, really? And nowadays he's just, I can go down and eat dinner and come back up to my room and he's just sleeping there. 15.
Football and dogs. And a lot of cooks in the kitchen. There's no more intense look than the look of albacore waiting for a ball.
Whoa, that hurt.
Doesn't look like being on film.
Nobody likes when Tim puts the camera in their face. It's the first time the albacore's laid down in hours.
It is. That's right.
You know how to do it.
I put people to sleep. Did I tell you I'm marketing my videos as a sleep aid?
Yes, you did.
You're feeling sleepy.
Works for me.
Yeah, but you do it at the wrong time.
Have a huge serving of Thanksgiving dinner and then just go to sleep. Oh, he's back. That was the longest break he's had in days. Anybody can grow a butternut, but not too many people can grow this size of a butternut. Matter of fact,
Is that considered a teacup butternut?
it's petite. Yep. Angela, we're having the butternut squash. Actually, wow, football's as good as the dinner and the weather. Rex, that thing in the oven looks a lot like, well, it's the same color as you, but I don't think it's related though. All good here. Everyone's getting along. That was fun football. Sun's going down. The wind just lit up here. So why don't we call it a day? Happy Thanksgiving Day. And of course, the day after Thanksgiving, the sun comes back out. So here's a time lapse from soggy South Dennis. Happy to be with family and friends and very grateful for everything we have. Especially that I'm blessed to be able to do what I love to do, and you like it too. Weather is a hobby that just never ends. Every day is a new experiment. On to winter. Next up. Until tomorrow.